second time to know there was a first time.
Then the third, you would say, okay, it happened.
Okay, it happened again. That's what I'm saying. So if there is a procession of the equinoxes, and we just now, after maybe 1,000, less than that, over here just waking up to it. And then now every time we go back and dig a little further in, we find more evidence that the ancestors knew everything they were doing. Atomic energy, the movement of the stars, healing, how the body worked. It's nothing new. We knew it. And like I said, anything they're doing right now is they're just holding our shit till we wake up. That's all.
They just found out about that black hole.
Oh yeah. And how many times did our ancestors talked about the newt singing from the newt and the song and the voice of the gods singing to us in certain tones and what do you call it? Give me a break. There's nothing that we do not know about the universe that's already in us. And the problem is, if we have to deal in the Qibla, we have to wait on cycles before the Qibla reveals anything. But when you are dealing from within, the cycles are automatically constantly talking and singing to you, so you don't need technology or to wait on technology to pick up a fucking planet. The planet says, yo, I'm here! You look up, oh, look over there. We ain't gotta wait from SETI to find out if anybody's coming in. Just by their presence, everybody would look up and know that something's going on. You see? So the technology within, the reason why we're so diseased, like I say, the reason why so much disease is on the planet, not only because this Caucasoid has got us eating his bullshit and acting and stressed out the way we are, but because we are stultified spiritually. And we are not picking up the proper resonances from all the different planets and stars so that to match our resonances with their resonances and we move forward as an entity. We're stuck. Yes, brother.
I mean, like I say, how do you personally deal with having this level of information, you know what I'm saying, and you actually going through it? Considering 25 years ago, maybe people thought you were crazy,
right?
And I want to know how you felt then, with the struggles and the stress you had to deal with, you trying to bring this information forth to people,
right?
And how do you feel now that more people are starting to, get into it and so forth? But how does that make you feel? Was it a point where, because sometimes with the little bit of information I know, I feel stagnant. I feel it's a struggle to try to get this information across to people. And I want to know, how do you feel from the time that you came into this information to now, and some of your personal, mental struggles with this all together?
Yeah, that's a good question, because it was difficult because I didn't have any guides except there were one or two people that preceded me in that, then Dr. Moore and Kanya, who had the Tree of Life, and let me see, who else was there? Krishnamurti, definitely. I was talking about the first time I started out. Yeah, because I came into Krishnamurti afterwards. There was, what's his name? The Sai Baba for a while. I was just studying his materials, into him. But a lot of the gurus, and then it was Bambi Baba, when I first thought he was going to be the next guru coming out of Africa. But I was searching for myself, and then it wasn't anything that I was trying to go out and teach, which you find out. You forge a feeling within yourself, and you know either something is right or wrong, and you live in both worlds. You don't deny that you're the flesh and you have appetites, and you don't try to ignore that you have a higher entity. And you walk that balance between the two. You find a comfortable place where you are in your body and in your mind, and you keep that walk. And then your words are reflected. Because if you want to get out of here, I could have got out of here and gone live in the woods somewhere. And then I would have known all the shit that I've known, but it would have been mine, and I'd been living and eating berries and just being myself. But then something just made me come from the stage doing music and go out here and doing it the way I knew I had an ability to do it. And then trying to get somebody to see your way, the ego get in the way. And be like, well, damn, don't they see? and I said this, and don't they feel me? Should I keep telling them? It's like, no, fuck them. No, man, I can't do that. I gotta go back and talk with them and stuff. And then what happens is, if you're not satisfied with who you are, and that you feel that the information that you got is something that you're going to get attention yourself with. Because if you couldn't get attention from people in a certain way to build yourself up in your community as somebody who's an intellect, and do I feel me? Would they notice me and shit? You can use that and then get the knowledge and then pimp people, like you see so many people going to jail for and shit now. Then when you stepping into slowly but surely, when you step into this world, it's like being under Nazi Germany. It's got laws that you can't step over because your mind is resonating on a level of truth or on a level of reality that becomes its own discipline. And if you fuck with it, you'll be in pain by it. So you learn to walk on that water, that tread, and you find yourself behaving in a certain way that demands you to be that for you to do what you really want. And the more you do it, and the more people come to you, there's an earnest, either your lower nature sees a way for you to pimp, like preachers, or you genuinely say, well damn, do you have the ability to make a person feel good about themselves? Do you just turn, all of a sudden, somebody turns on a light, you turn a light on and somebody's like, oh, is that your joy now? Receiving the money, yeah, because we need some necessities. But do you now live inside of the reality of the truth? Does that become your high now? Do you find that once you do that, you don't need to go eat ice cream? Or you don't need to go have cake or a hamburger? Yeah, because that becomes an appetite in itself. You need to teach and talk. That's why you're so frustrated. Because you're cultivating a higher appetite for the truth and for knowledge and for understanding and interfacing with the bush or universal love. And it begins to goad you, it sticks you, it impedes you. When you look at television, you hear ignorance, you want to attack it immediately. You want to choke it by the neck, kick it to the curb, and say, this is what's real, not you. You want to become the hero. You want to become the person that helps certain people. That's a good and noble cause, because as long as it's not attached to your ego, because then that becomes, the higher you go, the heavier the weight. You see, you got to cut that part of you that feels offended when somebody says, fuck you full of shit, that motherfucker talk. I saw that motherfucker like that. And then you start saying, oh, okay, well,
no, son, I'm not one to judge. Could you just flashbang this?
That's why you saw me. I was actually, what do you call it? I was trying to breathe, chill. Because the low side tries to get in there and orchestrate shit. If you're on the path, and I know you're on the path, and I know that you're reaching these young people who just seem to be in like some la-la land somewhere, right? And they've gone someplace, it's like, what you talking about? Then there's one. Just one that says, well, I was thinking about something like that, I was thinking like, and you give them little things to think about when they're going, hey, it's like, oh shit, I made an inroads. I touched one person, because like I was saying, this was the extent of the amount of people that I used to talk to in the beginning. Maybe 3 or 4 people used to come to my class. And then it began growing because those 3 or 4 people began talking to 3 or 4 other people. And before you know it, my class would be full. Like 35, 40 people come every week to my class.
There were thousands of Nibiru, different sized Nibiru. The word Nibiru comes from the word Nabara, which barely means to elevate, to go upwards, and descend downwards. You follow? This one craft that you're talking about, they crashed into this planet, Tawaka, or Tiamat, called the Biru, which is one cube-shaped craft that went in motion face to all. Sometimes which is similar to male and female, by the way, in nature. It crashed here. Y'all are based on that. The commanding officer of that craft was Murta. You understand? But the intellect, the high priest, or the Sam, or the mastermind, the most high, was called Anu. Anu had 2 sons who were in conflict with each other. And he knew that this was a very dangerous expedition, so he said, I'm taking the son of the disagreeable one who has become agreeable and make him the commander so he can make proper decisions. Enlil would have been too passive and Inky would have been too aggressive. So he took the reptilian seat because Inky's wife that gave birth to Murdoch and them were reptilians and sent him to a planet where reptilians ruled. Because Genesis tells you that this planet was covered underwater and it was dark, so he could not send a mammal, he would have drowned. So when the craft came in and the air was stopped outside of the solar system and sent in giants that came in here, they hovered. Then they brought in what they call Crystal City. What they brought them in, and they were like small cities, and they lived there while they started the experiment. Then they went on to Mars and the moon. This is now years ago when I said that, people said crazy. Now that they found life on Mars, now they found that there's life on stations on the dark side of the moon. It ain't funny no more. There's a great possibility that what I'm saying might be truer than what the hell they're saying. They gotta make me crazy because none of this is in the Bible.
There's some profound connection between Earth and Mars, and it comes to Earth at a place called Giza, on the Giza Plateau.
Could the planet Mars enlighten us about a myth of a lost civilization? Recent exploration suggests it may be so.
All the talk tonight is about Mars and whether American scientists have the proof that life once existed on that planet.
A huge, stunning breakthrough was made. We went to Mars, we took pictures, and we found structures.
Amazingly, structures in the shapes of pyramids.
The pyramids on Mars are overwhelming evidence of intelligent design.
Not only that, on Mars, as in Egypt, there appears to be a sphinx-like face, maintaining a watchful eye on these massive Martian monuments.
The Sphinx on Earth is a composite, the body of a lion, a feline, with the head of a man. The face on Mars appears to be a composite. It appears to have a left and a right half, where the right half is a hominid, anthropoid, simian. The left half, looked down from orbit, appears to be feline, lion-like, cat-like. So what we see in the face on Mars is a fusion, just like the Sphinx on Earth, of two living forms, hominid and feline.
Skeptics say it's a natural rock formation. The image we see, just a simple trick of light and shadow. Hoagland counters.
We're seeing all kinds of evidence of reflections, of brilliant reflections, like polished metal surfaces with the sun glinting off. This is not natural geology.
Unexplained hieroglyphics add to the theory. South of Cairo in remote Abydos is the Temple of Seti I. Is it possible that there is evidence here of advanced technology the ancient Egyptians could not have possessed? Evidence never before revealed to the public.
There is this extraordinary panel. And on this panel, there are odd, weird, bizarre, high-tech things that look like helicopters and land speeders and spaceships and the Millennium Falcon. Nobody has said, what is a helicopter doing in the ancient sands of Egypt?
In fact, the curious image looks exactly like the Apache helicopter, introduced to the U.S. military only 10 years ago.
Why do we have these connections between Earth and Mars? If we don't answer that question, we will have failed completely as a species.
Why would the Martians leave home and relocate on Earth? Hoagland suspects Mars had its own Armageddon, a meteorite collision some 12,000 years ago.
Something shatteringly horrible happened to Mars and killed it. If that alive Mars contained intelligent life forms, they would have had to leave. We think they came here. But you and me, and everyone watching this tonight, we are the Martians.
As the Earth hurtles closer to the new millennium, amidst dire prophecies, perhaps there is an even more pressing reason to find out about our link to Mars.
Whoever came before, as they realized that they were approaching a catastrophe, left time capsules, hoping that the next civilization would find them, would figure out what did they do wrong? How can we, before it happens again, figure out what they were facing and do it right?
Could the Martian pyramids contain these records? And is it possible there's advanced knowledge that might ensure the survival of the human race? Perhaps in the 21st century, man will land on Mars only to confront his own history.
We can rule again. We can be masters of our fate, masters of our destiny. The key is in knowing who you are. We need to go home.
And the only way they can keep me and you passive is by keeping us believing in some God called Jesus who's going to come get us one day. This keeps me and you from turning around and kicking all the stuff you did to us. So you got to keep me and you in that state of mind where we always go, okay, Lord, Jesus going to come, he's going to come. Every Christmas is coming, he ain't got here yet. Come to y'all yet. And that's a bit, now he's getting to the point where you're starting to say, we done had 2,000 Easters and I ain't seen no Jesus yet. You better come up with some Jesus real quick so he starts, he'll be fabricating Jesus any day now. You understand? So he creates scenarios like David Koresh and beat him up, and that really regenerates your belief in Jesus. Or they have a bunch of Catholics come on television and say, I had this thing I was doing, Jesus touched my life, and you start to believe that's how these are recharges because you become conscious. You're wise enough to ask questions that they cannot deal with. And new is in man. You follow? I saw him myself in flesh. What you're caught up with is time lapse. And there's what I get caught up on with time lapse and people who were born in this country and were once Christians. They don't have any problem with the part of the Bible. It says that